welcome to the Explainer. Have you ever actually wondered what it really takes to become an egg donor? Today, we are covering the complete journey from that very first application all the way to the final procedure. When you really get down to it, egg donation is a truly profound gift. It's an act of generosity that opens the door for individuals and couples to build the family they've always dreamed of. And yeah, let's be real. It's also a journey that comes with some significant compensation for a donor's time and commitment. We're typically talking in this range, and sometimes it can be a lot higher. Okay, so beyond the big ideas and the money, what does this whole thing actually look like day to day? What are the medical, the legal, and the personal commitments? Let's break it all down. Okay, so first things first, let's start with the big picture, the fundamentals you absolutely need to know before you even think about filling out an application. So, in a nutshell, egg donation is when you provide your eggs to help intended parents conceive. The whole thing, from the moment you decide to apply to the day it's all done, usually takes about 3 to 6 months. All right, let's get into the very first steps. This is where you go from just being curious to actually becoming a candidate. So, your journey kicks off with 3 really key actions. First up, and this is a big one, you've got to do your homework and find an agency you can trust. Then comes the super detailed application. It covers everything from your health to your family history. Once you're approved, your profile goes live and you wait to get matched with the right intended parents. Now, here's something you really need to know. This matching part, it's the wild card. For some people, it happens in just a few weeks. For others, it could take a few months. So yeah, a little bit of patience is definitely key here. Okay, so you've been matched? This is where things get, well, a lot more intense. The comprehensive screening and medical prep really kick into high gear now. You are going to go through 3 separate evaluations. The medical screening is really thorough. We're talking genetic tests, blood work, ultrasounds, the whole 9 yards. Then there's a psychological evaluation, which is just to make sure you're emotionally ready for everything. And finally, the legal side of things, where a contract protects you and the intended parents. It's all designed to make sure the process is safe and crystal clear for everyone. Right, so once all that screening and legal stuff is out of the way, you'll start a 10 to 14-day period of hormone injections. These MADs basically encourage your body to mature multiple eggs in one cycle, which is something it wouldn't normally do. And this number really tells you a lot about how safe the process is today. While some minor side effects like bloating are pretty common, a serious risk like ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome, or OHSS, is actually quite rare. We're talking less than 2% of cases. And that's mostly because you're being monitored so closely by doctors the whole time. And that brings us to the home stretch, the final medical step in the process, the retrieval procedure itself, and of course, the financial side of things. The actual retrieval is surprisingly fast. It's a simple outpatient procedure that only takes about 20 to 30 minutes. You're under sedation, so it's painless, and most donors are feeling back to normal within just a couple of days. So when it comes to compensation, it's not just one flat fee for everyone. It's actually tiered out. First-time donors usually fall into one range. If you're an experienced donor who's done a successful cycle before, you often get more. And then you have donors with really in-demand traits. Think a rare ethnic background or an Ivy League education, and they can be compensated at a much higher level. All right, to wrap things up, let's hit some of the biggest questions people always ask about this whole process. This timeline does a great job of laying it all out. Your initial application and screening, that's about 2 to 4 weeks. Then you hit that matching phase, which, remember, can be anywhere from 1 to 6 months. But once you're matched, things speed up. Medical and legal take about 3 to 6 weeks, and then it's that final 2-week stretch for stimulation and retrieval. Okay, this is probably one of the biggest questions on everyone's mind. Will doing this affect my own ability to have kids down the road? And that's a totally valid, super important question. And look, the science is pretty clear on this. The answer is no. Egg donation doesn't hurt your long-term fertility. See, every month, your body gets a whole group of eggs ready, but it only releases one. The rest just get reabsorbed. This process just helps that whole group of eggs mature, eggs that your body wasn't going to use anyway. Another question that comes up all the time is about the limit. Like, is this a one-and-done kind of thing, or can you be a repeat donor? So, to make sure donors stay healthy, the American Society for Reproductive Medicine, that's ASRM for short, they've set a pretty clear guideline. The recommendation is a lifetime maximum of 6 donation cycles. So there you have it. We've walked through the whole journey, the timeline, the medical stuff, the legal side, and the rewards. It is an incredible gift to give someone. The final question is really a personal one that only you can answer. Is this journey right for you? Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.